see me ugly, baby, 'cause I feel I let you down in oh so many ways. Don't see me ugly, baby, 'cause I know I let you down in oh so many ways. Are you gonna see me now, since we've been on our own? Are you gonna love the man when the man gets home? Yeah.
WRLR 98.3 FM.
That's right, 98.3 FM, the voice of Lake County, coming to live from the Round Lake Beach Metro Station. This is Improv Leadership with your host, Ted Schneider. Tonight we've got a kind of a different show. I'm going to look at 3 different books. Your Pocket Life Coach, 10 Minutes a Day to Transform Your Life by Carol Gaskell. We've got Daily Reflections for Highly Effective People, again, from Stephen R. Covey. And lastly, you've got 101 Ways to Stand Out at Work, Arthur D. Rosenberg. Again, this is Improv Leadership with your host, Ted Schneider, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. on WRLR 98.3 FM, the voice of Lake County, coming live, as I mentioned, from the Round Lake Beach Metro Station. If you're not familiar with WRLR, well, you need to be. You can go to our website, WRLR.FM, and look at the incredible variety of programming we've got in terms of just talk, all sorts of music, variety, special shows, as well as we do high school sports. Rusty and team do a great job with high school basketball, football, and again, a radio station like no other. If you can't be close enough to the station, because we are a low-power FM, you can go to our website at WRLR.FM and stream it there, or look for us at the Radio Garden app or the TuneIn Radio app. Again, Improv Leadership with your host, Ted Schneider. Let's start with your Pocket Life Coach, 10 minutes a day to transform your life. But before we do that, a quick shout out to our local loyal listeners, Zach Schneider. We appreciate you listening. Alex Schneider, of course. Eva, Ellen, Tom, Tony, Bob, and a bunch of other people. And again, even Alex's dog, Bella, the Wonder Dog. We appreciate you listening. Again, Improv Leadership with your host, Ted Schneider. We're going to start with your Pocket Life Coach. I have to say, Michael Anthony Partapillo gave me this book temporarily to read, and I'm taking good use of it. It's got just a ton of information, and I'm looking through the quick tips. You know, I like things that are quick. I don't like to have to sit there and really think about things too hard. I think I do like reading. I've got a ton of things to read. One of these days when I retire, I will definitely look at reading. But some quick tips. 1, adopt a positive attitude. And if you adopt a positive attitude on life and a can-do attitude, well, guess what? Things go a little easier. Remember, you're responsible for your own thoughts, and it's your choice whether the cup is half full or half empty. You know, choose to have a good day and choose to be proactive. Again, some tips here. Positivity is catching, so spread it to those around you and see yourself naturally propelled onward and upward. Again, adopt a positive attitude. You know, we talk about that all the time, that it's not necessarily your circumstances, your environment, what happens to you, but it's how you react. And you know those triggers. I know myself, you know, like today I'm coming to the radio station and the guy ahead of me pulls out a Mariano's right in front of me. Okay, now he's going to go about 5 miles below the speed limit. Okay, now he's going to make a left right in front of me. Okay, now he's going to drive in the middle of the road. Okay, so instead of getting angry, I just downshifted, went around him, and said, go right ahead. But again, little things like that tend to set me off. I know that. I react accordingly and try to take it easy. Another thing, again, from your Pocket Life Coach, 10 minutes a day to transform your life, Carol Gaskell, act deliberately. You know, rather than spend your time reacting to external demands, from other people, which we do have, things that pull on us throughout the day, or letting some situations dictate your actions, choose to act deliberately from your own center of calm. And, when you deliberately focus on your life, that deep down inside, there's, you're centered and you're in tune pretty much with yourself and your needs. Again, closely monitor your actions, become mindful of your thoughts and reactions on a moment-by-moment basis, and act in accordance with the wisdom inside you. Now, that's obviously easier said than done. But if you're deliberate in terms of your actions, you get up with a positive attitude. You get out of bed and get going. Whatever you need to do to motivate yourself, make it deliberate. And focus on having a good day. Focus on, this will be a successful day. I will be successful at work. I will have a good attitude, a positive outlook on life. And bottom line is, as I mentioned here, try it for a week and see, if you're more effective in general and more confidence. So again, act deliberately. Another quick tip, develop a strong sense of personal integrity and honesty. Well, life becomes significantly easier when you're able to live honestly with yourself. And we've talked about this before. If you're lying to yourself, well, then who are you really fooling? Nobody. When you fully master the quality, few things can threaten you. Again, personal integrity, honesty. When you know and accept yourself for who you are as a person, and you're genuinely giving of your best, then you don't have to waste your time and energy trying to do anything else. And really, I think what they're trying to say here is live according to your values. Live according to what you believe is important. And again, integrity means not just obviously acting in a responsible manner, but being responsible for your actions. And we talked about that, a couple weeks ago in terms of do the right thing and take responsibility for your actions. The bottom line is, a person who's out of integrity is like someone whose spine is out of alignment. Their total being is usually unable to operate at its optimum capability. Again, you want to enhance your own personal integrity by identifying maybe 10 areas of your life where you're not currently telling the full truth, either to yourself or others. Wow, can you imagine that? Identify 10 areas of your life where you're not currently telling the full truth. List them, write them down, and next to each one of the actions you'll take to address it. So again, there's, I guess, not only a quick tip, but some homework. So if you're not living your true life, I guess they're trying to say, it might be time to start living your true life. Let's see here. We're looking again at the book called Your Pocket Life Coach, 10 Minutes a Day to Transform Your Life. This is WRLR 98.3 FM, and you're talking to Ted Schneider on the Improv Leadership Show. Another quick tip from the book is trust your intuition. Inner confidence and faith in yourself are valuable qualities, and the more you can access them, the more readily you'll be able to manage the changes in your life. You can develop more of these characteristics if you pay attention to yourself and become more aware of your inner wisdom. Well, yeah, trust your intuition. A lot of times that little voice inside us says, don't do it. Or, yeah, go ahead, do it. And to me, that little voice is your intuition. That little voice is your compass, your guide, your inner, soul to do things in a good way. Or perhaps maybe it's get out of your own way and develop your ability to get out of your head and in your heart. Just don't block out, and we let clog things up, almost like a filter. And at this point, why not just kind of clear things out and focus on what you really think you are? And again, trust your intuition. Deep down inside, if you should try something or not. What's right, what's wrong, etc. We're looking at quick tips from Your Pocket Life Coach, 10 minutes a day to transform your life by Carol Gaskill. Become your own best friend. If you want to build significant relationships in your life, whether with a loved one, friends, family, a client, or a colleague, it's important to address and strengthen your relationship with yourself. Well, that's interesting. Find yourself on Match, I guess. But the more you believe in yourself and respect yourself, the more others will believe in you and respect you as well. And that makes sense. You have to kind of know yourself to know others, understand, who you are, to, look at others. But the bottom line is the more attractive you feel on the inside, the more this will be reflected on the outside and in the world around you. So, before you look for the qualities you want in others, think about what you want to adopt, the desired qualities yourself. Remember to be your own best friend. And that makes sense. You have to have some level of confidence, some level of, I believe in myself if you want to enter and venture into the world. So, good tip. Become your own best friend. Another quick tip, again from the book, Your Pocket Life Coach, 10 Minutes a Day to Transform Your Life by Carol Gaskill. Act as if success is already yours. That's interesting. A quick tip for moving forward and through obstacles speedily is to hold your chin up, stand up straight, shoulders tall, and act as if you're already achieved what it is you seek. And that makes sense. In other words, kind of like I think what Covey talks about and other people, begin with the end in mind. Look to the future and imagine the future you want, and it'll become something as a reality. Don't allow yourself to look down and get swamped by self-doubt. Even if you don't feel very comfortable and confident now, act as though you're already achieving what you want, and that'll propel you forwards in life. You'll be surprised how your confidence catches up with you and your obstacles disappear. And that's true. I think at some point it's called, fake it till you make it. At some point it's called you have to sort of believe in yourself and act like you've already achieved something if you want to continue to be successful. They've got different transformation quizzes in here. It's kind of interesting. Another quick tip, honor your personal energy cycles. Now, that's interesting. Are you a morning person or an evening person? And I know both. I tend to be a morning person and an afternoon person and an evening person. But most people are either morning or evening. So when's the best time of day for you to look at specific activities? Are you best handling phone calls first thing in the morning? Or is your best time maybe in the afternoon? Writing, thinking, planning, developing. In other words, look into your own personal energy cycles and see what time of day is best for you to accomplish certain tasks. Personal things, business things. Our personal energy cycles vary. If you become aware of yours, you can plan your days, your weeks, your months accordingly, and you may well find your energy levels vary on different days of the week. Monday might be a good day, for example, to do some administrative tasks and be internally focused, whereas a Friday might be a day for you to look out and about, maybe be a little more creative. The week's ending, less on your mind. You could have some innovation, perhaps, or come up with some creative ideas. The bottom line is you need to come up with some tips of your own in terms of your own personal energy cycle. And that makes sense. We all know at certain points of the day, I'm more successful or I can, tackle things differently, based on my own personal likes, dislikes, etc. And lastly, we'll pick one more tip here. Let's see here. Again, this is Your Pocket Life Coach, 10 Minutes a Day to Transform Your Life by Carol Gaskill. Last little tip here. Let's see if there's a quick tip. Well, I got one here. Don't should on yourself. That sounds pretty good. Don't should on yourself. Don't say it too fast. It sounds like something else. In essence, if you say you should or ought to do something, unless you know it's something you genuinely need to do, the chances are the statement is coming from someone else's agenda and not from your own. Well, that makes sense. Again, I should do this, I ought to do that. Yeah, okay. Well, if someone's on your butt about it, well, what the heck? But be aware, I guess, in your day-to-day life of how many times you should say, no, I should do this, no, I should do that. For example, do you ever say to yourself, I should lose weight, I should change jobs? Well, yeah, stop and think, though. Is this something I genuinely need to do or want to do? And again, this author is not suggesting you advocate responsibility for things that are not necessary for you to do. We all have things in life we don't particularly enjoy doing. Housework, paperwork, examples. But we don't need to get them done. So I guess if you're aware of your needs, responsibilities, wants, and make choices accordingly, your should is either a need or a genuine responsibility, not a want. And I guess that makes sense. At some level, you should maybe, be on time at work, or you should show up to events, or you should do this or should do that. Like they said, lose weight, get a job. To me, if you have to ask, I should do that, then the next question is, why aren't you doing it? And again, maybe you need a life coach. Maybe you need someone to help you. Not everybody has the same level of willpower. I understand that. We all have different needs. We all have different things that we focus on. And again, you can't necessarily, one size fits all. But that was your Pocket Life Coach. Some excerpts. 10 minutes a day to transform your life. Carol Gaskill. It's actually time to do a little station ID. So let's do a station ID real quick.
You're listening to 98.3 FM, WRLR LP, Round Lake, Illinois.
Now, I told you that already, but again, I'll tell you, it's WRLR 98.3 FM, the voice of Lake County, coming to you live from the Round Lake Beach Metro Station every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the Improv Leadership radio show. I'll take a quick break here from what I was doing. I got a couple more books I want to go, but back in 2009, Holstee, Holstee, put out a manifesto. And this manifesto was really, I think, their mantra, their company slogan, their company logo, whatever you want to call it. And actually, they sell this. I believe this is on pictures and paintings and those wooden boards with a canvas stretched around it with the frameless pictures. Again, Holstee, Holstee. Their manifesto, how they do business, what they believe in, what the company stands for. I'm not even sure what they do, but this is, again, from 2009, and it's a one-page deal. And I think it's kind of cool. I got to find maybe something that I can hang on the wall. But bottom line is, this is what it says. This is your life. And that's critical to think about, right? This is your life. Nobody else's. It's yours. You have responsibility for it. You have responsibility to make sure it's the best. And you only get one of those. I'd love to think we can get reincarnated, but let's pretend we don't, and the possibility doesn't exist. This is your life. Do what you love, and do it often. Why waste your time living somebody else's life, right? If you don't like something, change it. Well, we talked about that before. Change it, or change you. You don't like your job, either get another job, or you learn to live with it. Something you don't like about yourself, lose weight, I don't know, color your hair, exercise more, quit smoking, whatever it may be. If you don't like something, change it. Again, they talk about if you don't like your job, quit. If you don't have enough time, stop watching TV. True. Look at opportunity costs. We talk about opportunity costs all the time. If you have time to sit down and watch TV for 2 hours, think about what opportunity you could have done, what opportunities present themselves you could have done in that 2-hour time slot. A lot of times we don't realize we make choices, and there might be more productive choices we can make, but it is what it is. Again, if you don't have enough time, stop watching TV. If you're looking for the love of your life, stop. They'll be waiting for you when you start doing things you love. And that's pretty good advice. A lot of times, and I've fallen into that trap myself, you really put yourself into looking for somebody, and you spend a lot of time and energy. If you stop and really start doing something you love, no matter what it is, go to church or a hobby or, something that you make a living at perhaps, start doing things you love and you'll be surprised what you find. Stop overanalyzing. All of us are guilty of that at some point. A perfect example, someone sends you a text and they start, typing and you see the 3 dots and you're like, okay. Then the 3 dots go away. Well, that's kind of like, wait a second. Are they still talking to me? Are they still going to, continue the conversation? Don't overanalyze it. They went to the bathroom. They went to work. They went to sleep. They went out and exercised, whatever. They'll text you back when they do. So stop overanalyzing. A lot of times things are much more simple and uncomplicated than we make them. All emotions are beautiful. True. We have a lot of different emotions. You think about it. And there's highs and there's lows in life, and that's, what life's about. When you eat, appreciate it. Well, that makes sense. When you eat, appreciate every last bite. Well, sure. I'm not much of a cook myself, but I do appreciate what I eat. And I try to eat for, giving the body fuel versus just, eating to eat. Again, this is the Holstee Manifesto. Came out in 2009. If you look it up, Holstee, some real good focus, and it's pretty much what the company believes. Again, I don't know what they do. I don't know what they make, but their manifesto is legendary. Life is simple. True, life is pretty simple. We make it complicated. We make it more difficult sometimes than it is. But life is simple. And you really ought to try and aim to make things as simple as possible. Open your mind, your arms, and your heart to new things. And people, we're united in our differences. Open your mind, arms, and heart to new things and people. I'm reading a book by Adam Grant called Think Again. And it really does talk about changing your mindset. A lot of times we don't believe, in what, in other words, we believe in certain things. And sometimes it's very difficult for us to change our view. Adam Grant, by the way, I'll take a quick side note, has a really good quote. He says, a mark of an open mind is being more committed to your curiosity than your convictions. Now think about that. An open mind is being more committed to your curiosity than your convictions. And I think that's part of the problem today. People are on social media, and that's all they care about is their convictions. I see left, I see right, I see black, I see white, I see left, I see right, whatever it is, those are your convictions, okay? And if you open your mind to being committed to curiosity, who knows what can come in, what you'll be exposed to, what you can absorb. It's like a sponge that's dried out or that's somehow clogged or it's already saturated. Those are your convictions. Rinse the sponge, see what you can soak up. But again, Adam Grant continues and says the goal of learning is not to shield old views against new facts. It's to revise old views to incorporate new facts. Again, be open to the possibility. Be open to new ideas. It's really good to know people and interact and speak and talk and converse if they're not exactly like you. Lastly, ideas are possibilities to explore, not certainties to defend. Adam Grant, some real good information. Again, I think the problem we've got in general with social media, everyone takes a stand. It's like they're in their own little castle. There's a moat. There's, alligators in that moat, and nothing gets in beyond those walls that they've established. So think about it. Put the drawbridge down once in a while. Let somebody else in that might not be exactly like you, think exactly like you, and who knows, you just might be exposed to something new and exciting. It's the same thing, people that just watch Fox News or just watch CNN or just watch one news source, especially if it's way to the left or way to the right, is like brainwashing. It really is. You're only getting one view, and all that does is reinforce and reinforce and reinforce. Again, I'm back to the Holstein Manifesto. Open your mind, your arms, and your heart to new things and people. The next part is we are united in our differences. And think about our differences plus our similarities. We've never, in my lifetime, gone through a pandemic. We all kind of share some of the similar things. Now, yeah, you might have more money or live in a bigger home or be able to work from home and not have to go to work. There's some differences. But either way, those differences unite us. Those differences make us who we are. And you'll be surprised how much similar focus we have, how many similarities there are. Bottom line, we're all humans on the same planet. It doesn't matter where you live, what house, how much money you have, clothes, your car. You're breathing the same air. You're on the same planet. Let's not get too crazy in our differences. Ask the next person you see what their passion is and share your inspiring dream with them. Why not? And I think, it's good to have some passion. I'd actually ask yourself, what am I passionate about? What do I care about? What's important to me? Think about it sometimes. We don't even chase our own dreams if we don't know what our dreams are. Travel often. Well, yeah, there's some restrictions right now with COVID, but you can still travel in your own little world without getting on a plane. Again, this is the Holstein Manifesto. Getting lost will help you find yourself. True. Think about it sometimes. Wander and just see what comes up. Let your mind kind of drift and see what you think about. Some opportunities only come once. Seize them. Now, this is the kind of stuff you ought to tell people in high school or college. Yeah, some opportunities only come once. Seize them. Think back in your life. How many things you missed, didn't go to, didn't attend, didn't participate in. And if you can do it all over again, would you seize those opportunities? Would you be more involved, volunteer? Would you ask that girl out, ask that guy out? Would you have joined this organization, this club, whatever? The point is, most opportunities, I would argue, only come once. Seize them. See what happens. Life is about the people you meet and the things you create with them. And that's true. Life is collaboration. Be it laughter, be it a project, be it something special, a relationship, whatever it is, life is about the people you meet and the things you create with them. Think about the last person you met, the last person you interacted with. Was it informational? Was it something fun? What did you do that made it unique and different? And what did you create with them? Even if it was energy. Think about the energy of two people coming together. Lastly, go out and start creating. And that's true. You know, a lot of times we don't think about the inner artists that we have inside of us. I think people don't realize what they have, what they're good at, what their skills are. And most of us, I think, not most of us, a lot of us. Some of us do, some of us don't, when we put it that way. Utilize your skills and talents to their fullest. Perfect example. You know, Bob and I have had, and Bob had him on again a couple weeks ago, Tomcat Trumpet. Incredible trumpet player. Clearly the guy has some skills, some talent, and he's using it. Okay? He's going to create music, create atmosphere, create a variety show downtown. Perfect example. You know, I know people that are creative in many, many ways. They paint. I can think of people from high school in particular. One lady, her name is Sue. She paints really well. I know another guy named Tony. He is trying to get back on the tennis circuit, getting himself in shape physically, mentally, I'm sure. But the point is, he's going to try to create something on the court. Another friend of mine, Bob Osler, chaplain, he creates a lot of things. He creates a lot of moments with people that are in need from all the different places he's visited, including 9/11, the aftermath. The point is he's creating comfort for people. He's creating a safe zone for people to just relax and meditate and reflect. So the point is, go out and start creating, no matter what it is. If your skill is, being with people and comforting them, giving them advice or guidance, like the Chicago Leadership Partners, Dave Rudine and Jack Belford, trying to teach companies and organizations and communities and countries and organizations that people, as an example, are your most valuable resource. Whatever it is, get out there and start creating. And to those people I just mentioned, keep doing what you're doing. You're talented, you're artists in some form, and you do good work. Again, we're going to wrap up the Holstein Manifesto here. Life is short. Live your dream and share your passion. And that says it all. I mean, life is short. You wake up one day and you fill in the blank, 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever it is, and go, how did I get here? What happened? Well, live your dream and share your passion. And I'd say, there's more to this. This is just what they came together on a one-page, offsetting the font. Some of it's bigger, bold, smaller. Very, very unique and pretty creative, I thought myself. But I guess the whole point of this is, it's your life. There's a lot you can do with it. Don't waste it. Don't waste time. Make something of it, and also share what you've got. Share your gifts, share your skills, your talent, and help other people as well. They don't talk about too much of that here in terms of helping other people, but it's true. If you think about being a mentor for somebody, think about, what it means to be human and be part of the human experience. Well, why not share, help people out, donate your time, some money, volunteer. I guess the point is the world becomes much, much smaller based on your efforts and based on what you're able to do. And you'll find out that you give of yourself, however you do it, again, through your skills, your talent, your money, whatever it is, your time. The more you give of yourself and do something bigger than you become part of something much, much bigger. And you have an impact on others. You make a difference in their lives. You have a positive impact. Again, creating smiles, making people feel better, whatever it may be. But you'd be amazed if you can give of yourself, your time, your money, your energy, whatever it may be. Again, that was the Holstein Manifesto. A real cool thing. HOLSTEE. Says 2009. Hard to believe it's that old, and I've kept the paper for that many years. But Either way, this is the Improv Leadership Show with your host, Ted Schneider, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., coming to you live from the Round Lake Beach Metro Station on WRLR 98.3 FM. It's time we take a little break. 1 second.
You're listening to 98.3 FM, WRLR LP, Round Lake, Illinois.
I can't believe you found them.
He seems sorry.
We very clearly told him not to look up there.
I'm honestly impressed that he was able to do it.
Right? But did he balance on that big chair?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he'll just know what his gifts are this year.
I really thought we had hidden them well.
If they can find their presents, they can find a gun.
911, what is your emergency?
Every day, 8 kids and teens are unintentionally killed or injured by loaded and unlocked guns. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and End Family Fire.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded. So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for youth.
Because vaping can put microscopic particles into your lungs.
And dangerous things like metals into your body.
And nicotine, which can harm a person's brain development through their mid-20s.
With appealing flavors, high nicotine levels, and lots of promotion on social media.
Many kids think vaping is harmless, but it's not.
So talk to your kids about the risks of vaping.
Because when you talk, they hear you.
Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Hi, I'm Bob Barker. This is my friend Benny. Before you buy cosmetics, personal care, or household products, you be sure they have not been tested on animals. Everything from floor cleaner to shampoo is poured into animals' eyes and down their throats. They suffer intensely. Some even go blind. The price is never right for products tested on animals. Visit PETA.org for a list of cruelty-free companies.
What's it like to walk in the shoes of a Navy SEAL, a beekeeper, a rabbi, a dentist, a ghost hunter, or a professional clown? Join me, Jim Wunderlich, on Word of Mouth, Thursday mornings from 11 a.m. to noon, and hear their stories. Captivating guests from a wide range of professions sharing a behind-the-curtain view of their jobs. Jobs such as an interrogator from Guantanamo, a private chef, a film director, a doctor, an orchestra conductor, a college basketball coach.
WRLR 98.3 FM.
That's right, 98.3 FM, WRLR 98.3 FM. The man said it right. This is the Improv Leadership Show with your host, Ted Schneider, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Keep in mind, Bob Slipke will be on from 7 to 8 on Info Explorers right after me, so don't go away. Stay on the dial. Again, if you're not familiar, WRLR 98.3 FM, local community radio station, low power FM, all volunteer staff and station. Again, programming that you'll find nowhere else. We've got a variety of talk shows, of course, different music and variety shows, as well as high school sports, as I mentioned. If you can't hear us because you're not that close to the station, just on your radio dial, then you can go to WRLR.FM or the TuneIn Radio app or the Radio Garden app, and you can hear us that way. So plenty of ways to listen. Again, WRLR 98.3 FM, and this is year number 16. So if you go, God, they've been there 16 years? Yep, 16 years. And I'm happy to say I've been here a little over 11 now. So I've been a major part of it on a couple different shows. Again, WRLR 98.3 FM. Well, this is Improv Leadership with your host, Ted Schneider. And we're doing excerpts of books, Daily Reflections for Highly Effective People, Stephen R. Covey, or Covey, however you pronounce it. Again, talking about the 7 habits of highly effective people and every day. And it's really kind of cool because it gives you like every day. It's like a little, what do you call it? A daily planner, a daily calendar. And you look inside and go, ooh, what's today? I actually posted on here a couple of the things I thought were pretty interesting. Let's see here. Again, this is Daily Reflections for Highly Effective People. This is January 12th, I guess, is in the book. But what happens when we attempt to shortcut a natural process in our growth and development? If you're only an average tennis player, but you decide to play at a higher level in order to make a better impression, what will result? Would positive thinking alone enable you to complete and compete effectively against a professional? Probably not. So in other words, don't shortcut your natural process in a growth or development. there are no shortcuts in life. There are no easy ways of getting to, from A to Z. You have to pay your dues, some time, experience, a little bit of knowledge perhaps. But again, very hard to shortcut the process. Another one here, you can decide within yourself how circumstances will affect you. Between what happens to you or the stimulus and your response to it is your freedom or power to choose that response. Well, of course, we just talked about that. No matter what happens to you, look at people that have survived in concentration camps during World War II, people that have endured extreme hardships, from those miners a couple of years ago that were trapped down, however far down they were in the earth, in that mine. Circumstances alone don't dictate the outcome. It's how you react to them. It's how you deal with them. It's how you cope. So, again, it's a lot of times, as I mentioned before, it's triggers in our life. You know what triggers you. You know what's going to get you upset, what's going to make you angry, what's going to disappoint you. Well, either avoid that or learn to deal with it when it occurs. Again, your response sometimes that can be worse. Don't argue for other people's weaknesses. Don't argue for your own. When you make a mistake, admit it, correct it, and learn from it immediately. And that's true. We know we've done something wrong. We know we've made a mistake. And you want to try to cover it up. You want to try to be, sneaky about it. Or you want to just be honest and say, hey, it is what it is. I made a mistake. Apologize sincerely and move on. Again, this is Daily Reflections for Highly Effective People. Stephen R. Covey. The law of the harvest governs. We will always reap what we sow. No more, no less. The law of justice is immutable. And the closer we align ourselves with correct principles, the better our judgment will be about how the world operates, and the more accurate our paradigms, our maps of the territory will be. So I think the first thing, the law of the harvest governs. Think about it. Years ago, farmers had to put a lot of effort, and they still do, but I'm sure with technology, maybe it's a little less effort. But the point is, we will reap what we sow, no more and no less. There are no shortcuts in life. There is no easy way of making $1 million or whatever it is your goal is. We will reap what we sow, no more and no less. Let's see here. If you're proactive, you don't have to wait for circumstances or other people to create perspective, expanding experiences. You can consciously create your own. Well, true. Being proactive, sure means a heck of a lot more, I think, in terms of waiting for something to happen or waiting for somebody else. Take the initiative. The last probably 20 years of my life, I've done that myself. I don't wait. I just go ahead and do it. If you know what you got to do and you know what's right, then just do it. Unless, of course, you need permission because it's a thing at work and that's the way it works. Or maybe, the accounting department has to give you the money or whatever it may be. Barring that, be proactive. Go do it. Again, we're looking at the little book by Stephen R. Covey called Daily Reflections for Highly Effective People. This one is so often the problem is in the system and not in people. If you put good people in bad systems, you'll get bad results. You have to water the flowers you want to grow. And that's a good point. I was brought into the company I'm at right now a little more than 7 years ago to create a process, incident management a process. If you just set up a process, educate people, give them the tools they need, and again, it's a sound process. It's thought of, and you continue to tweak it if it needs tweaking. People will succeed. If they don't, I first look at the process. Is it clear? Is it understandable? Is it, logical? A plus B equals C type thing. If it doesn't work for people, again, maybe they don't understand. An old boss of mine always says, if they don't first, make sure they understand. If you've given them, in my case, the time, the tools, and the training, and in my case, they get a little TED as well. So it's 4 T's: time, training, tools, and TED, and they still don't get it, barring a learning experience, or a learning deficit or some kind of learning disability, they might not just care. But either way, Stephen Covey is talking about so often the problem is in the system. Put a good system in place, and people will succeed. He goes on to talk about, if I were to summarize in one sentence, the most important principle he's learned in the field of interpersonal relationships, it'd be this: seek first to understand, then to be understood. This principle is the key to effective interpersonal communication. And that makes sense. First, seek to understand. You know, you have to understand what the other person's talking about, what the other person means, and you have to listen to do that, okay? Doesn't take a lot of perception, but you have to listen, pay attention, focus. So seek first to understand, and then to be understood. And part of that is listen and then talk. You know, we live in a world where everyone wants to talk and no one wants to listen. So if you listen, focus, be present, put your phone away, don't be distracted by some silly crap, and then be understood, then tell your side, that is a principle which is key to effective interpersonal communication. A couple more here. Again, daily reflections for highly effective people, Stephen R. Covey. Importance has to do with the results. If something is important, it contributes to your mission, your values, your high priority goals. But if we don't have a clear idea of what is important, the results we desire in our lives, we're easily diverted into responding to the urgent. So that makes sense. You know, we should have some goals. We should have some things we want to focus on. We should have some things that are important to us, and that's what we're going to focus on. If not, we're not as proactive as we could be, and we're going to always react to things, and basically we'll be distracted perhaps, but it's also going to be a situation where we're not going to be as productive or as happy, I would think, as well. One more. Well, this is pretty simple. Act or be acted upon, and that makes sense. You know, either you do something or you're going to respond to somebody else when you do it. And that makes sense. Act or be acted upon. You know, take control of things versus being controlled by others. Let's see, one more. When two win-lose people get together, that is, when two determined, stubborn, ego-invested individuals interact, the result will be lose-lose. Both will lose. Both will be vindictive and want to get back or get even, blind to the fact that murder is suicide, that revenge is a two-edged sword. And I think a lot of times what they're trying to say there is, you'll be surprised if you think about it for a minute. Really, is it a win-win or is it a zero-sum game, which means I win, you lose, you win, I lose? You know, I would like to create things in life where everybody's a winner. And I don't mean everyone gets a trophy, but it's a win-win because we've had some kind of synergy. We've had some type of, positive interaction. We both gain something from it. You know, we can both win and walk away and feel good about what just happened. And that's successful negotiations as well. You know, too much in the world around us, not everything, but too much, I think, is a zero-sum game, which means there's one winner and one loser, and there's nothing in between. Well, that creates a lot of tension. That creates a lot of competition that might not be healthy. Also creates a situation that, really, if you think about it, is counterproductive and adversarial. So that was, again, Daily Reflections for Highly Effective People, Stephen R. Covey. This is Improv Leadership with your host, Ted Schneider, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. on WRLR 98.3 FM. But don't take my word. Let's do a little station ID.
You're listening to 98.3 FM, WRLR LP, Round Lake, Illinois.
I told you, WRLR 98.3 FM, the voice of Lake County, coming to you live from the Round Lake Beach Metro Station every Tuesday, in this case, on the Improv Leadership Show from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And this is your host, Ted Schneider. As I mentioned, the Info Explorer Show is on afterwards. Bob Slipke from 7 to 8 p.m. And I think he's changed the format a little bit. I think he's doing a few things where he throws music in between versus waiting at the end. So, again, take a listen. Last book tonight is Arthur D. Rosenberg's 101 Ways to Stand Out at Work. Now, that's pretty cool. 101 ways. I don't think people even envisioned there'd be that many ways to stand out at work. So I'm looking at a chapter here about control your image, and that's true. I mean, controlling your image is important. We talked about that before, about how Tom Peters came out years ago, back in like the early to mid 80s, about brand. He talks about the brand you. You know, someone says your name, an image comes to mind. You stand for something. People recognize you by your brand, what you stand for, who you are, your traits, your characteristics, your skills, your talents, whatever. Well, again, chapter 2 of this book, 101 Ways to Stand Out at Work, Arthur D. Rosenberg, talks about controlling your image. So here's a way of, I guess there's about 12 bullets here. Again, I guess this is probably, let's see, I'm not sure if it's first impressions or not, but bottom line is, I guess it is first impressions. Yes, to create a good first impression, dress appropriately, for the occasion, and the impression you wish to make. Smile, shake hands firmly, and a small list of things. 1, be pleasant. You only get one chance to make a first impression. Be calm and composed. Avoid appearing nervous or cocky. Be polite. Courtesy is still in style. Be attentive. Allow others to reveal themselves. Be patient. No one has ever died of boredom. Now, your kids might have told you that. I'm going to die of boredom. But it says here, no one's ever died of boredom. Be upbeat. Save your negative comments until after the initial meeting. I would wait a couple months. Same thing in a relationship, right? Save any negative comments till later. Be prepared. Be ready to support your agenda. Again, these are first impressions at work. But this also could be your relationship in your personal life. Be consistent. Never contradict yourself. And that also helps in terms of making your brand stronger and more precise. Be alert. Don't get baited or sidetracked. I think be alert too is don't get sidetracked or don't divert your attention. Be aware. Notice how others are reacting to you. That's true. If you're doing a play or a speech or stand-up, know your audience. Look at your audience. Are they moaning? Are they laughing? Are they leaving? Be very aware of how others are reacting to what you're saying. And you can tell on their face. If it's a one-to-one thing, you can tell on their face. Trust me, been there, done that. Some of the things I've said or done. And that's for another show, of course. Be controlled. Focus on what you want to set out to do. Be flexible. When needed, look for an alternate plan or course of action. Always a good idea. What's plan B? And lastly, be yourself. False impressions are impossible to live up to. At the same point, if you're lying on your resume or in person, you're going to soon find that people are going to go, but wait a second, I thought you said, not a good thing. Going back to the chapter now, know which tools to develop. Initiative, he says, and this is, again, Arthur D. Rosenberg, 101 Ways to Stand Out at Work. Initiative is the single most important factor in being regarded as an asset. True. If you have to wait to be told all the time and can't make decisions or can't make decisions quickly or good decisions, initiative says, I know what needs to be done. I'm going to do it. Some companies like Hilton, at least many years ago, I'm not sure if they still do that, give employees so much money they can spend to make things right. They give employees so much money and latitude in their jobs to make sure the guests are taken care of. Well, same thing. If you allow people to take initiative, to be a little innovative, to be creative, that's definitely probably the most important factor in being regarded as an asset. If you're just a monkey and have to wait to be told something, or you can't make a decision, well, I think that's probably not going to people aren't going to regard you as an asset. So a couple of things they'd say here is seeking opportunities and expanded responsibilities above and beyond your job descriptions. Of course, you want to do more. You want to take out and show them what you can do. Expand your opportunities beyond your job description. And, kiss of death is when people go, that's not my job. Well, maybe it could be. Maybe it should be. Maybe you can explore something new. Devoting extra time and effort to assignments, projects, and colleagues. True. Think about it. Put a little extra time in stuff. Don't just slap something together and run away. Sometimes devoting extra time and effort to assignments, projects, and colleagues is definitely worthwhile. Taking intelligent risks to promote ideas and suggestions. Success doesn't come without a degree of risk, but success-bound individuals do not let fear of failure hold them back. And that's true. A lot of times, if you're worried about failure, and that fear of failure has you such in their grip, or its grip, you're not going to take a chance. You're not going to take any risk. You're afraid. Well, sometimes you have to kind of, have that leap of faith. You got to put your foot out there, close your eyes, and know that there's going to be something there to catch you. Taking intelligent risks. Again, we talked about that to promote your ideas and suggestions. Sticking to your guns when faced with opposition and following through. And I don't know if it's sticking to your guns, but sticking to your convictions. You know what should be done. You know what is right, what's wrong. And at the same point, stick up for other people in the organization. If someone in your organization is being wronged or being treated poorly, or if there's harassment going on, good Lord, definitely say something as an example. But sticking to your guns when faced with opposition, in other words, stay true to the course of what you think you should do. It's important. Again, we're talking about 101 Ways to Stand Out at Work, Arthur D. Rosenberg. Some interesting things if you want to be, again, successful at work. And he talks about innovation being the single most important factor at work. Last thing here, fit into the corporate culture. The opposite of fitting in is sticking out. Fitting in is pretty much a matter of adjustment and conformity. Conflicts arise when the fit is uncomfortable or unnatural, or where a person is unaware of certain aspects of the culture in which they live and work. To fit in, you need to be mindful of the behaviors by which you and others are being judged. And that's a good point. You need to be mindful of the behaviors by which you and others are being judged. How was your review? How was your goals and objectives set up? What are you being critiqued on? What are you being paid on? What's your bonus based on? What's your review going to cover? Okay, you need to be aware of that. He says here, 3 of the most essential personal qualities in any business environment are courtesy, willingness to cooperate, and ability to learn. Courtesy, willingness to cooperate, and the ability to learn. A lot of people I know talk about that. Is the person polite and professional? Do they, put the T in teamwork, for lack of a better term? And do they have a capacity to want to learn and also change? A lot of people are change adverse. Something new comes up, and it's like, oh, no, I don't want that. We've always done it this way. I don't want to. Or they're not courtesy. They're not courteous. They're not, willing to cooperate. They're not a team player. So think about it. You want to succeed at work, it's pretty simple, but it's not always easy to do and do consistently. Again, back to your brand. It says here, firefighters and accountants, as an example, work in very different cultures, but rudeness is annoying and unacceptable to both. Whether you're a bank officer or a corrections officer, cooperation is a common element in your environment. The inability to learn regulations and procedures is equally detrimental to professional football players and rocket scientists. Whatever the culture, you got to fit in if you want to survive and thrive. But at the same point, again, opposite of fitting in or fitting in is sticking out. I would stick out in a positive way. I would stick out in a way that says, you know what, I'm a little more than the average Joe, or I'm a little better than the average person, and not better necessarily, but better at what I do perhaps, or I'm more creative, more innovative. So yes, fit in the organization, but stand out in a positive way by making a difference, by having something that nobody else brings perhaps to the organization or your particular area of the organization. Again, it's one thing to say you fit in. It's another to say you stand out, based on what you do, who you are, and I think in general, what you bring to the party. And lastly, again, this is 101 Ways to Stand Out at Work. You make career planning a part of every day. And that's interesting. You think about it, a career plan. A lot of times we don't even update our resume every 10 years or whatever. If you make career planning a part of, at least maybe say once a week, you'll be prepared for whatever comes, but at the same point, you can refocus on what's important in your job. That's 101 Ways to Stand Out at Work. Arthur D. Rosenberg, and this is Ted Schneider on the Improv Leadership Radio Show from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. on WRLR 98.3 FM. I hope you enjoyed the show. As I mentioned, Info Explorers is next with Bob Slipke. If you didn't like the show, well, There's always next week, but hope you learned something. Hope you had some fun. Take care. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Give me your heart of gold, your heavenly magic touch, to cherish, have and hold. I need your love so much. My love is warmer than a day in spring, brighter than a diamond ring, braver than a mighty king. My love for you, it's taller than the tallest tree, softer than a summer breeze. Oh, I ask you please give your love, sweet love to me. Deeper than a wishing well, stronger than a magic spell, wider than the white. Things went wrong today, bad news came away. I woke up to find who I had in my mind. Western Union man, bad news in his hand, knocking at my door, saying he needs gold. 15 cents over to read, a telegram I didn't read, says she doesn't care no more, think I'll throw it on the floor. Got your cable just today, killed through, I've got to say. Western Union. Now you've gone away, and how it's sad to say you've gone. I remember what they said, now I'm going out of my head. Telegram just had to say, we learned a lesson on the way. Telegram just had to say, we learned a lesson on the way. Western I'll be on the way, 'cause there's another girl for me. I'll be sure things will be as they were. It may not mean nothing to y'all, but understand nothing was done for me, so I don't plan on stopping at all. I want it forever, mine, ever mine, ever mine. I shouldn't be down in the mall and telling that girl she the one for me, and I ain't even planning to call. I want it forever, mine, ever mine, ever mine, ever mine. Last name ever, first name greatest. Like a sprained ankle, boy, ain't nothing to play with.
Started off local, but thanks to all the haters, I know G4 pilots on a first name basis. In your city, faded off the ground. Nino, she insists she got more class. We know, swimming in the money, come and find me. Nemo, if I was at the club, you know I balled. Chemo, dropped a mixtape, sounded like an album. Who'da thought a countrywide tour be the outcome? Labels want my name beside an X like Malcolm. Everybody got a deal, I did it without one. Yeah, I'm about my business. Killing all these rappers, you would swear I had a hit list. Everyone who doubted me is asking for forgiveness. If you ain't been a part of it, at least you got to witness. It may not mean nothing to y'all. Understand nothing was done for me, so I don't plan on stopping at all. I want this forever, mine, ever mine.
Ever Mr. West is in the building. Ain't no question who about to kill. I used to have hood dreams, big fame, big chains. I stuck inside this life until that came and went hard all fall like the ball teams, just so I can make it rain all spring. Y'all seen my story, my glory. I had the game young. You could call it when it blow up. They gon' build statues from me. Old money, Benjamin Button. Super bad chicks giving me big love.